Hello everybody, Aiden here, and welcome into another video today here on the Around the Slice YouTube channel. So today, continuing our free agency content here on the channel, I want to do a fun exercise across the NFL that I am splitting up into two videos within the next few days. Right now, I am going to be going through all 16 AFC teams and telling you who I think they must resign, who they must bring back. This isn't really about contract value or how much it will cost or price tag. This is just a player that I think every team needs to bring back considering age and actual talent and team outlook. Basically, if they were to lose this player, it would be a big hit to them as a whole on the offensive or defensive side of the ball, respectively. Today is AFC. Now, within the next couple of days, we will be doing NFC. So just to keep it concise and straightforward for you guys, I'm going in alphabetical order within the AFC conference as a whole. First up, Baltimore Ravens. There's one guy that clearly stands out above the rest. And now John Harbaugh has gone to the Giants, so maybe this guy will go to the Giants, but this is not a prediction video. This is not who I think will sign where. This is just who every team needs to bring back, if you will, in a few weeks, next month in free agency, rather. Center, Tyler Linderbaum. You already have two massive holes. Andrew Voorhees has been kind of a disaster. Daniel Falele is a free agent. We'll see if they need to bring him back or not. They don't need to, per se. Even if they do, they can upgrade from him. Bring back a franchise pillar in center, Tyler Linderbaum. Trust me, there's quite a few center needy teams across the league. And for Lamar, a rushing QB who's coming off a down, injury-riddled season, he's still going to need his franchise center for years to come. So the Baltimore Ravens need to bring back center Tyler Linderbaum. And when they didn't place the franchise tag on him, when they didn't pick up the fifth-year option on him last year, it was clear that they didn't do that because they were going to work out a long-term extension. I find it kind of weird and awkward, if you would, that they haven't worked out a long-term extension by now, but price tag aside, they need to bring back Tyler Linderbaum and keep that dynamic going with Lamar. Buffalo Bills, my favorite team. I'm going to be honest with you guys. On paper, you guys might think there's a few older veterans that need to bring back. If you heard my Around the Slice podcast over the last couple of weeks, you would know that we don't need to bring back anyone. These older veteran long-term staples of the defense, McDermott era guys need to go, and you need to reset at those positions in particular. Matt Milano is a free agent. He can go. Jordan Poyer is a free agent. He can probably retire. Daquan Jones is a free agent. He can go. A lot of these guys, we need to get younger, cheaper, and reset at their respective positions. I went with Sledge. I went with fullback Reggie Gilliam because without Sledge, there's no tush push. Without Sledge, there's no elite cutback zone rushing with James Cook and Josh Allen specifically as a whole, rather. When you get guys like Sledge, Jackson Hawes is the third tight end who put people on his ass, and Alec Anderson, on the field all at the same time, good luck. Defensive pancakes all over the place. Next, we have the Cincinnati Bengals. There is not a whole lot to be concerned with either. You might say Trey Hendrickson, but that seems to be beyond sour at this point. They could they could technically franchise tag him by free agency, as that window is well within reach now and open, if you would. But that could get really dicey and shady there with the whole relationship situation. I went with a couple defensive ends that I really like in Cam Sample and Joseph Ossai. I went with Joseph Ossai. He shouldn't be a top two pass rusher for you because ideally Shamar Stewart has a better year too. Ideally, Myles Murphy continued the flash we saw down the stretch last year in year 3. But I went with Joseph Ossai as a third or fourth rotational snap taker at the edge rusher position, a position you already need as a whole. I think that could be a decent trio with Shamar Stewart, Myles Murphy, and Joseph Ossai. And first and foremost, that requires bringing Ossai back, and it's not going to cost anything or even close to it. Cleveland Browns. They have a lot of notable free agents. Every single starting offensive lineman for them is a free agent. But they're all old and injured all the time, so I think it's well within reason to move on from most, if not all of them. I went with defensive tackle Shelby Harris. I know he's well into his mid-30s by now, but you don't really have. Ideally, you'd like to get some younger enforcer type next to Mason Graham, but Shelby Harris is still a damn good huge run stuffer, literally and figuratively at his size up the middle. And I think when you bring out a defensive line of Myles Garrett at the edge position, Alex Wright, who's come on really nicely at the other edge spot, and then Shelby Harris and Mason Graham as a duo, you'll have to worry about the future after Shelby Harris for this season in particular, which is the spirit of this video. We got Shelby Harris needs to go back to the Browns, and the Browns need to likewise re-sign him. Next, Denver Broncos. There's quite a few, not much in the way of offense, but there's quite a few defensive candidates here. I went with Denver Broncos. I went with linebacker Alex Singleton. I think he's one of the most underrated and players as a whole in the league. He does everything a typical middle linebacker would do. He sheds through contact. He knows how to break blocks down. He's got good size to him. He's a pretty good coverage player. He never misses tackles, always had a low missed tackle rate, and the story is really inspiring with the whole testicular, cancer on the drug testing. So, number one, great human and personality, but number two, I think is very underrated play style. I love how he mixes zone and man coverage together with his coverage and tackling ability. They need to bring Alex Singleton back because the Dre Greenlaw linebacker situation last year, free agency signing, big ticket, if you will, kind of a flop. They have Justin Sternad, but he can work in as a third linebacker in certain third down situations here and there, but I think he's mostly a special teams ace for the good bulk of his career. And then Drew Sanders is just hurt all the time, and then when he's been in there, which is very minimal, not very good, going in his third year in the NFL. So they need to bring back Alex Singleton for a veteran presence to keep that elite special defense intact. Speaking of a special defense, Houston Texans. I look at the defensive tackle position. They have a few notable defensive tackles. I could have gone with Danico Autry, who are free agents. I could have gone with Danico Autry. I could have gone with Tim Settle. I could have gone with Mario Edwards. But by far, number one, their quote-unquote only hole, if you will, on that special defensive side of the ball is the interior defensive tackle. But number two, I think Sheldon Rankins. Actually, I know Sheldon Rankins is the best one out of those three or four notable defensive tackles that are free agents. So bring back Sheldon Rankins. You have Tommy Togiai still. Draft a young guy in round two, rather, very early on in the draft, and you are really cooking there. Next, Indianapolis Colts. In my opinion, they're going to cut or maybe trade for a fourth-round pick. I would really like my team, the Bills, to trade for Michael Pittman Jr., but trade for a fourth-round pick or more likely cut Michael Pittman Jr., and that's going to open up cap space to give to another notable young receiver in Alec Pierce. I've expressed my concern with some outside team overpaying Alec Pierce to throw cap space money at him like the Raiders or the Titans, but this isn't a prediction video. For this specific purposes, this video today, if you will, I think the Colts need to re-sign Alec Pierce. They traded away A.D. Mitchell, clearly didn't believe in him. They have Josh Allen, who is a very good route runner. They have Tyler Warren, very good do-it-all route runner at the tight end position, going into year two, coming off a stellar rookie year. Michael Pittman going to move on, as I just expressed and explained. They need to re-sign Alec Pierce, whether it's Anthony Richardson, whether it's Daniel Jones, whatever QB is in there, they're going to want to throw the deep ball, and the propensity to throw deep ball is exactly Alec Pierce's game. Very height, weight, speed guy to a T in possession style, X receiver down the field, true X receiver possession down the field. They need to re-sign Alec Pierce, in my opinion. Money concerns aside, overpay concerns aside. Jacksonville Jaguars, so they're in a tight cap space situation, and they got a few notable free agents. Travis Etienne at the running back position. I think they should re-sign him pretty much, but we'll see. Montaric Brown at corner, but they have succession plans there, so the writing's on the wall for that split, unfortunately. But franchise do-it-all linebacker Devin Lloyd needs to be re-signed. He's got legit athleticism, legit juice at the linebacker position. He's always been good, but I think he's always been good to great, but I think he became an elite, phenomenal linebacker this past year. First half of the first 8 or 9 games of the season, give or take, he was firmly in the Defensive Player of the Year, Defense Player of the Year candidacy running there, if you will, rather, because that one game, week 4, 5, 6, I can't remember, he had that very juiced up athletic pick 6 against the Chiefs. So that's one specific moment I remember for why they should re-sign Devin Lloyd. Their defense with the personnel they have overachieved, and that's thanks to Anthony Campanile, defensive coordinator. So he needs to bring back his star linebacker in the making in Devin Lloyd. Kansas City Chiefs. So they're in Kessler's hell, as I said in the preview on the official Around the Slice podcast the other day, but they don't really have much. I mean, you could go with linebacker Leo Chenal, but they already have a couple paid linebackers, Andrew Tranquil and Nick Bolton specifically, so that wouldn't make too much sense if you would ask me today. I go with safety Brian Cook. Yeah, they have Jaden Hicks, but they really don't have anyone else. Now, they don't pay DBs, so predictably they're just not going to do this, but in my opinion, price tag aside, paying DB philosophy aside, the Kansas City Chiefs need to bring back Brian Cook. Yeah, they can get someone on day 3 and develop them like their trademark known for, but for this purpose, they need to bring back Brian Cook. Next, Las Vegas Raiders. They're a young team, and you could argue that you could upgrade from this guy, but I think the one young, stable part of their offensive line is Dylan Parham, and that's exactly where in the direction I'm going to go here. They need to re-sign and bring back guard Dylan Parham. There's legit trade rumors circling around Jackson Powers Johnson, and they can upgrade from all spots, but the one guy who I think has given them pretty good play in the 4 years that he's been in the NFL on his rookie deal is guard Dylan Parham, and you can still get him for pretty cheap, I'd assume. So for offensive line in flux, for personnel in flux under year 1 and a rookie head coach in Fernando Mendoza and Clint Kubiak, Dylan Parham could be a staple piece in the offensive line. Next, Los Angeles Chargers. It's far and away edge rusher, defensive end, rather Odafe Owe. You need Khalil Mack, probably going to retire or return to the Bears or Raiders, probably the Bears on some 1-year farewell tour deal. But the Chargers need to keep their duo off the edge in the future, intact, rather. Tuli Tuipulotu, big fan, 13 sacks this past year. Odafe Owe, 10-plus double-digit, 10 or 11 sacks as well. Address duo for the future of Odafe Owe and Tuli Tuipulotu is building blocks for sure. Yes, you lost Jesse Minter, but new defensive coordinator, DC, Chris O'Leary, is going to want the address duo for the future. Bring back Odafe Owe to build around Tuli Tuipulotu with those two as well. Miami Dolphins, I zero in a few corners here. Number 1, Jack Jones. I feel like he was disappointing, so we can kind of move past that. It's really between Kader Kohou and Rasul Douglas. Kohou has the versatility to play in the slot and outside. He's a little better in the slot, I'd say, but I don't think he's particularly good in either spot. And Rasul Douglas, just with the Buffalo Bills a few years ago, he's a pretty damn good outside corner for that year and a half he was there. And now for the Dolphins, they transitioned to slot corner at 32, 33 years old, pushing there somewhere, age. And I think the Dolphins transition in the slot would be great. Bring back Rasul Douglas to play slot corner, and then draft a corner like Jermon McCoy, if you believe in the medicals and can look past that. Or Mansour Delane, if you want a true man corner out of LSU at number 11 overall. Those are some ideas, but I know you're in a rebuild. You're about to strip it down, start over at multiple positions, but I'd bring back Rasul Douglas, and I think him transitioning a slot at this point in his career has done wonders for him. Hence, this past season we saw it. New England Patriots. They have a few guys that work for them that I would be very skeptical if they go somewhere else and some team pays off them over what they did leading the Patriots to Super Bowl. Caleb Von Chason works for the Patriots and no one else. Kairos Tonga, elite run stuffer, works for the Patriots and no one else. I settled on safety Jalen Hawkins because I really like that safety duo of Craig Woodson out of Cal, who was a rookie this past year, and then a few-year journeyman, if you will, and finally found his home in Jalen Hawkins. that safety duo for the future. Keep that intact. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Mike Vrabel loves keeping his own in-house guys. Next, New York Jets. I look at the two guards. First, Elijah Vera Tucker. I just think that relationship has run its course. There's no bad blood or anything, but he's always hurt. And the one good thing for years and years, up until a few years ago, whatever, everyone said the Jets' offensive line sucked and was horrible, awful. It was. And now it's literally like the one good thing that Aaron Glenn has going. So Elijah Vera Tucker, that relationship has run its course in terms of being injured all the time, and I think they just need to restart with him. But I would look at veteran guard, John Simpson. You have pillars. If you're going to let Elijah Vera Tucker go, guard John Simpson is never hurt. Is he great? No, but I think he's a very underrated guard in this league as a whole. Why not mess with the one good thing you'll have with Aaron Glenn and as a staff and team and franchise as a whole? So, hence that. Pittsburgh Steelers, I can't believe I'm saying this now, but Kenneth Gainwell led the Pittsburgh Steelers in receiving yards, so they need to bring him back pretty badly. They have DK Metcalf and nobody else. Sounds like Aaron Rodgers is going to put off retirement for at least one more year to play with his boy from Green Bay and Mike McCarthy. And we know how much Rodgers loves to check the ball down at this point, and his arm strength is kind of gone. Hence, Kenneth Gainwell gets 60 to 70 targets again, and a big chunk of that translate to actual receptions. They need to get better wide receiver talent, but at the running back position, Jaylen Warren is just not the guy. Kenneth Gainwell they love, and then Caleb Johnson just flop of a third-round investment, which third round isn't nothing. That's pretty significant. So they need to bring back Kenneth Gainwell, especially Rodgers' play style at this point in his career for all those checkdowns. Moving along here towards the end at Tennessee Titans. This might be a controversial one. A lot of these, actually, I know for a fact these free agents need to let walk. I was considering Sebastian Joseph Day at the defensive end / D tackle position because of his versatility, but he's 30 plus, north of 30, 31, 32, pushing that somewhere around that range rather. I settle on defensive end Arden Key. They have what at edge rusher? Femi Oladejo. Number one, he only has like 2 years. His last year in college, first year in the NFL. He's injured a lot of actual edge rush position versatility because he was an off-ball linebacker for much of his college career before transitioning. And they have nobody. Bring back Arden Key. He's not a top pass rusher at this point, not even close to it. Second, third rotational, big chunk snap taker. Sure. Bring back Arden Key at 30 years old now, and then draft an elite edge rusher prospect at number 4 overall, like Ruben Bain or David Bailey. Ideally, Ruben Bain, but if he goes a pick or two before that, then David Bailey's an elite prospect in his own right. But bring back Arden Key. That's a must re-sign. You're bare in there as it is. If you lose Arden Key, you're going to be embarrassingly bare in there. So anyways, guys, that is all 16 NFL AFC teams. One free agent. Every AFC team must re-sign this offseason. No official predictions. Just, in my opinion, who they must re-sign, bring back, if you will. So anyways, we'll be doing this for an NFC side of things. Those 16 teams within the next couple of days, give or take. You can follow me on Twitter /X at AWagner13 if you want any fantasy football takes. If you want any additional thoughts of anything we talk about in this channel, follow me over there. Yeah, please like and subscribe to continue monitoring our free agent content. Incredible time of the year. And thank you for the support as always. Have a great day. Have a great last few days of the week. I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.